And good morning, Common Sense America. Good morning, my beautiful America. It is so great to be back with you here Monday, June the 19th. You guys, we are just about finishing up June, headed into one of my favorite months. That is July. That is all things patriotism. That is all things God, country, and family. Good morning. I am Eden Hill, and welcome to Common Sense America.
It's time for Common Sense America with Eden Hill. Yeah.
And to all of my Common Sense family, thank you so much for being with me all through last week's censorship. We were censored like nobody's business. I tell you what, here at Common Sense America, we do talk about God. We do talk about our country, and we do talk about our families. So if you missed any of our episodes because we were not on YouTube last week, have no fear. Hop over to Rumble, and I'm going to put the link up here for you right now. We have a lot of those Rumble episodes, a lot of those episodes from last week on Rumble. One on Flag Day, educating our next generation about what the flag stands for, the Star Spangled Banner, being all things patriotic. So if you missed any of our episodes last week, go over to Rumble. It's going across the screen right now at Common Sense America, and you can check out some of our great interviews. This week will be a different week here at Common Sense America. We're going to do a couple episodes this week, but I'm going to be honest with you. We have a big surprise coming your way for the 1st of July, and I'm going to be working on that, and you'll be hearing more about that as the month of July is just right around the corner. So today will be one of our only episodes this week. And when I heard this story about baseball, I instantly ran to it and said, oh, I want this story to be on my podcast here at Common Sense America. I grew up in a baseball loving family. I grew up watching my brother play baseball. I grew up watching the church play softball. I grew up watching the New York Yankees. I grew up watching the Mets. I grew up watching the Philadelphia Phillies. And being in that environment of they still call it America's pastime. And if you've ever had the chance to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame in New York, in upstate New York, it's an amazing experience. But if you have not, and you are looking for an opportunity to say, okay, kids, get in the car, we're doing a road trip, that would be one of the top things I would add to your summer list for this summer. It is the Baseball Hall of Fame. There is nothing like it. The history about it, all of those from Yogi Berra, I'm going to name all my favorite Yankees, to Derek Jeter, to Babe Ruth. And okay, the Boston Red Sox swept the Yankees and in the past couple games this week. And yeah, they look a little upset right now, but maybe they'll come back. I do have a little small piece of my heart for the Boston Red Sox, but just a hint. I am a Yankees girl through and through, raised in a Yankee family, mother from Jersey. She's a Mets girl, father growing up in Philadelphia as a Phillies boy. And we all just kind of meet in the middle. And then there's my brother, the black sheep of the family, who's a Boston Red Sox fan. Okay, don't understand how that one happened. But anyway, my love of baseball goes back to, obviously, like I said, when I was a kid. But I sit there and I every holiday, meaning the patriotic holidays, meaning the apple pie, July 4th parades, headed out to the baseball field, watching the kids play or going to a baseball game, I always pull out A League of Their Own. 1940s, nothing like that movie. It was during a very dark time in our nation's history, and the men were off at war. And boom, A League of Their Own is featured at the Baseball Hall of Fame. So this morning, we're bringing over to the show a brand new guest. I can't wait to speak with her. And her name is Stephanie Davis. She's a member of Samaritan Ministries International, but she's also the vice president of the national programs at the Miracle League, which focuses on baseball for those children with disabilities. I'm interested to hear the bridge and how it came together and how all of this has unfolded. Now, when I look at the Miracle League, there are a ton of different chapters around the nation. So I'm eager to have a better understanding of that. But perhaps you could get involved with one of these ministries to give back. Perhaps you could have the opportunity to go be a mentor. Perhaps you could have the opportunity to open up the opportunity of baseball and learning about baseball to a youth who may have never had the opportunity. Maybe a youth who lives in New York City and all they know is the city streets, the concrete jungle, and never had the experience to be able to play in a baseball field. So this morning, please welcome Stephanie Davis. Good morning, Stephanie. How are you? Stephanie? Well, we may be having a little bit of technical difficulties. So I'm going to take a quick break and see if we can't figure this out. We'll be right back. Stephanie, can you hear me? Hi, Stephanie, can you hear me? For all of those who are tuning in here at Common Sense America, we have Stephanie Davis, member of Samaritan Ministries International. She's also the Vice President of National Programs with the Miracle League. Good morning, Stephanie. Can you hear me? Okay, what you need to do is go down to your settings and go to your audio. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get her set up in her audio so you guys can hear an amazing story about Stephanie Davis. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Stephanie.
Hey, it's Eden.
Hey, I'm so sorry. It's not working on my computer or my phone.
Okay, go ahead and exit out and we'll just do it via phone.
Okay.
Okay, so just stay online with me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure. And for all of those who are tuning in here at Common Sense America, we had some technical difficulty this morning, but you know what? We come right back and we make things happen. That's what we do here at Common Sense America. It's all about God and country and our families. And I'm so excited to have here on the phone this morning with us Stephanie Davis. She is the member Samaritan Ministries International. She's also the vice president of the national programs with the Miracle League, which is baseball opportunities for those with disabilities. Hence why I started off with the amazing stories of our Baseball Hall of Fame and just the American pastime and the importance of what it is to us in our country as we are in the patriotic holidays of the summer. So Stephanie, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So first and foremost, talk to us. I was reading up on Samaritan's Ministry, and I was also reading up on the national programs with reading up on the Miracle League. Were you the bridge that brought the two organizations together?
Yes, so I was involved with the Miracle League over probably 20 years ago, and me and my husband are self-employed, and I work for charity. So over the years, we have really struggled with traditional health care. As the years went by, the prices went up. As we started a family, things just got really not affordable with insurance, and they weren't covering the things that we needed to cover or wanted to cover. So that's where we found Samaritan Ministries, and we were able to kind of bring them in to be able to insure our family, and not to mention, help others across the country bear each other's burdens as a healthcare sharing, which with a biblical lens, which is what we were really excited about.
No, that's really very powerful. I noticed that Samaritan Ministry, I was looking at their website this morning, SamaritanMinistry.org. I will put it to the bottom of the screen. A community of Christians paying one another's medical bills, said Kyle and Colleen, and they have their Samaritan story there. You can become a member. You can start sharing bills. You can have healthcare set free. Talk to us a little bit about your personal story and what brought you to Samaritan Ministries, and then we'll talk about the Miracle League.
Sure. So again, we just went back to, being self-employed and working for charity. And this was recommended to us by a friend from church. We were very skeptical about it because, I've had insurance my entire life. My parents worked for the government, so it was always covered,
right,
throughout the years.
Right.
So with being self-employed, we were in a really different avenue of trying to find something that would be affordable for our family. So we kind of went out on a limb and tried to do Samaritan Ministries. And for the first few years, we were not, thankfully, we did not have to use it. We were helping and providing other needs, which was really cool. Each month we get a letter stating who we're helping and what we're helping, an actual name and a person and a need. And then we're able to pay them our percentage, and then also send them a note and then pray for them as they go through that process. A few years into it, we did unfortunately have to use it with my son. He got into a terrible bike accident, and he was airlifted to Children's Hospital. He sustained a head injury, broken collarbone, and some nerve damage in his back and leg. And we were in the trauma center at Atlanta Children's for 5 days. And from day one, Samaritan Ministries was calling and praying for us and letting us know everything was going to be okay. And then we started having to navigate the bills, everything from being airlifted, which, you can imagine how expensive that was.
Yes.
Ambulance, air flights, and then a week in the trauma center. And they just started right away helping us negotiate those bills and working on behalf of our family. Thankfully, a miracle from God that my son is fully healed today. But they helped us get through that process and actually helped us cover 100% of those bills. Members from across the country helped us cover those bills, which was over $70,000 to $80,000 after they helped us negotiate those costs. So we were very thankful. Don't know how we would have got through that process without them. Even more than the money, it was members sending us notes of encouragement and praying for us. We even received notes from others that had been through similar circumstances and giving us suggestions and just things to look for with the different types of injuries that we had and specialists they had seen and things that helped them So not just the financial side of it, which was amazing, miracle that we had all that covered, but the emotional and the spiritual side of it as well, which got us through and really showed us the true meaning of this organization.
Do you recommend this for all types of life, all types of walks? Because you had mentioned your family had worked in the government. I too had worked in the government. And so we become very dependent on having that access. And then when you are self-employed, and I am self-employed, I looked for the top health share. I'm a veteran spouse, but only the VA gives a small portion to my secondary insurance. So that's a big deal for a lot of Americans. And having some kind of health care is, something that we all look at and say, well, wait a second, I can't afford this. And what am I going to do raising my family, taking care of my family, taking care of my spouse, taking care of what is going on around us, and having just the basic, health care, if you will. And this is a health share. So what do you say to people who are coming from all sorts of journeys of life saying, is this for everybody? Is it a one size fits all, or is it very specific to specific needs?
There are a few stipulations, such as pre-existing. Me and my daughter both have a pre-existing heart condition. And so what happens with that is they wouldn't cover a heart issue for the first 5 years. So we were able to, get something supplemental just for emergencies for her. She has had heart surgery, but we are now through the first 5 years. She's not had an issue. So that part of it was great. The reason why I like Samaritan Ministries for pre-existing is because they did give you a term. Most of the other ones were just saying no pre-existing. So I knew if we could get through those 5 years and maybe supplement that. Now we only strictly have Samaritan Ministries because we've been through it 5 years. And so pre-existing can be a little bit sticky depending on what you have and the needs. I knew we didn't need a monthly prescription or, care yearly. So it worked out great for us. And then, the other thing is they are very strict on what they cover, with a very biblical lens. So, and that's what I love too. We're paying for things that we believe in, not things that would be outside of that, lens. And it's really refreshing to know that we are really helping people with the right things.
Yes, no, I applaud you for that. And I can, I speak volumes and hear you loud and clear with just that biblical lens, which is so important these days and these times because the culture will tell you otherwise. And so having a group like Samaritan Ministries is a very powerful opportunity for those who are looking for specific opportunities to have better health provisions. And I like what you had stated about the support, the foundation, the biblical support, the encouragement that you found through members that really just came alongside of you. And that's what we as believers need to be doing for one another.
Yes.
And that just speaks volumes. So I want to transition with you and I want to talk a little bit about the Miracle League and the Baseball League that is set up to help those who have disabilities. And I don't know if you heard any of my opening monologue, but baseball has been in my family for years. It's very personal and I absolutely love America's pastime. And I would love for you to share the bridge between Samaritan's Ministries and the Miracle League and your leadership role. How did that all come to unfold together?
So it goes back to 2001, is when I myself a friend of mine saw a special on HBO Real Sports. And it was with Bryant Gumbel and Frank DeFord. And any sports fan remembers that show with Real Sports. And they featured a local baseball league in Conyers, Georgia, which is just east of Atlanta. And it was the original Miracle League. And the concept was, let's build an accessible field so that children and adults of all abilities can play baseball together. When I saw that, I talked to some friends of mine. I actually lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina at the time. And that's how I got involved with it. We said, we want to do this here. So we called the local family who started it in Conyers, and we said, hey, we want to come visit you. We want to see how you did this. We want to start one in Myrtle Beach. I grew up playing sports. Softball was probably my number one sport, but I grew up playing basketball, volleyball, ran track. And, youth sports is what shaped me as a human and as, an adult today. I can't even imagine not having that opportunity and the lessons that were learned through that youth sport and the friendships that were made. And still to this day, we keep up with our 12-year-old Little League team that went to, regional and nationals together. And we're now all in our 40s. So just the relationships that youth sports has brought to us was priceless, and the lessons that were learned through it. So I just thought I had a love for the special needs community. I thought, what would I do without this opportunity? And, what are they able to do? So we started the Miracle League in Myrtle Beach, which was the second location in 2001.
Okay.
And I've been involved ever since. I helped build that facility and run that program the first few years. And then I was able to join the family here in Conyers and help them take this nationally and now internationally. So we now have 325 Miracle Leagues in the country, including a few international as well. We're in most every state, and the greatest part is just seeing, hundreds of thousands of children and adults now having the opportunity to play, like you said, America's favorite pastime, and to get the opportunity to be on a team for the very first time.
Talk to us about the children that come and play, and is there a limit to allowing them to come play? I mean, I saw news, and I saw Miracle League was on NBC Nightly News, and I pulled up some of the local stories, and it looks like it is encompassing of all different types. So basically, if your child wants to play ball, if your child wants to do something active, this could be a spot for them. Can you kind of explain what it looks like for a child with disabilities to, I want to go play baseball, and this is how I can do it?
Yes, so the Miracle League is different than any other organization out there. We are open for all ages and all abilities. What we say, our motto is, if you are not eligible or can't play on a traditional youth baseball program, that you're welcome to play at the Miracle League. So we have kids, everything from maybe just a learning disability or ADD, to Down syndrome, spina bifida. We have a high number of kids on the autism spectrum. We even have a lot of kids that have sensory issues. It makes it hard for them to play on a traditional team or, setting. So you're going to see every walk of life, males, females, all ages. We have pretty much ages 3 up to, I think one of our leagues has an 80 or 90-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So it's really interesting to see they all are able to play together. And, what makes it special is our buddy program. So every player in the Miracle League has an able-bodied buddy. And typically that's a teenager and up, and they're paired up with a player of their ability, and they play the game together, whatever their need is. If they're in a wheelchair and they need help, grounding the ball or pushing them around the bases, another child may need help swinging the bat. We also have blind and deaf children participating with the help of a buddy. So there's lots of different abilities out there, but what makes it kind of common ground is that buddy that helps them fill in the gap of what their special need is.
Oh, that's so powerful. I was reading through the press release that your team sent over, and it says Samaritan Ministries member helps offer the gift of baseball to children with disabilities. The Miracle League allows thousands who couldn't otherwise play to get in the game. And you said, I just thought everybody needs this opportunity, and to bring these two things together was really a dream for me. The Miracle League, which serves about 50,000 children and some adults in 320 local Miracle Leagues in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, allows children with disabilities to play baseball no matter their ability. Each child is partnered with a buddy who helps them by pushing a wheelchair, up a base path, or swinging a bat to hit a ball. Whatever the player's special needs might be, the buddies are there to protect them and help them play the game, quote says, and you had been quoted in saying this. So talk to us about when this does this go year round because of the seasons, or is it just during the early spring and summer months that the Miracle League goes?
So each community looks a little bit different because we want it to fit what they're already doing.
Okay.
So typically you're going to see a spring and a fall baseball season that will mirror their youth baseball.
Okay.
So if they have a sibling or a friend playing in their local Little League or their local Babe Ruth, we would promote, the Miracle League to be similar times and days and games as that, so that it is common ground for those parents and those kids to be able to have similar schedules and not just, come out once a year or twice a year.
Right.
They're having a 6 to 8 week season every spring and fall. And again, depending where they are in the country, they may play longer into the summer or, earlier into the fall, depending on the heat and the cold. So each league looks a little bit different, but that's what we do encourage, is that these leagues kind of mirror what they're already doing for youth baseball.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about the All-Stars? I see that you have an All-Star 2023 in Palm Beach, Florida.
Yes.
I was looking at some of the videos. Talk to us about the All-Star. Does that happen every year as well?
Yes. So we started this, it's our 5th annual All-Star event, and it's our favorite weekend of the year. And it's what we do is we bring in a player and a family from the different leagues across the country, internationally as well. We've had Canada participate in Mexico each year. And what we do is we bring all these families together for a huge weekend celebration. They fly into a different city each year. So we do have host cities scheduled out for the next few years. And what they do is they fly in Friday afternoon. We have a meet and greet dinner and celebration for their family Friday night. And then we play all-star games all day Saturday. And then Saturday evening, we have a huge banquet where they receive their award. And their most favorite part of the weekend is the dance that we have following our dinner.
Oh, that's really special. Have you ever taken any of the different chapters to the Baseball Hall of Fame for them to see that as well?
We actually the Miracle League got inducted into the Hall of Fame many years ago. I want to say over 15 years ago, into the children's portion of the Hall of Fame. And we are looking forward to doing something with our alumni. And that was one of our ideas, because each year these are new families that come to the All-Star, but these alumni want to come back. It's so much fun and such a priceless experience. So now our idea is to try to put something together like a trip like that, where we could bring some of our alumni and to do an event. And that was one of our director's ideas, was the Hall of Fame. And I think that would be an incredible opportunity for them.
Oh, most definitely. So tell us about the funding and tell us about how you get these amazing angels, I will call them, to come out and do the Miracle League and their chapters. How does this all come about? How does a chapter unfold?
Sure. So each community, we get calls, hundreds of calls each week from different communities across the country. Number one question is, how do we start a league in our community? Typically, it's either it can be a Parks and Rec director, it could be a city council, mayor, county council. We work a lot with government municipalities with Parks and Rec. Our second biggest partner is YMCA's, because they're already running programs, they already raise money, and they kind of know what to do. And then we also work with individual charities, and all the way down to just a mom and pop organization. You could just be an individual in your community saying, I want to do this, just like we did in Myrtle Beach. So the opportunity, our partnerships vary depending on the community. You as a listener could call us today and say, hey, we want to try to get this in our community. Or they call and say, hey, is there a league in our community we could play or volunteer or donate for? So my position with the Miracle League is I work with these communities but we just walk them through and show them best practices of here's how we've done it in 325 communities over the past 20 years. We bring a lot of partners to the table and benefits for them to be able to not create the wheel and save as much time and resources as possible. All the money is raised locally, so it's very grassroots, and all money raised in that community stays in that community, which is incredible for a national charity to be able to do that. And then we raise our money for our corporate office, through events like our All-Star event and through partnerships and national sponsorships as well. But we really stride on letting those communities keep that money local. So if you gave Atlanta, Georgia $10, that $10 stayed in that community for the kids that, play part of that local league.
Right. And so the funding is very grassroots, but you also have, it sounds like a partnership with the local YMCAs as well. And how do you find the volunteers, or do you end up bringing on paid staff for each location? Because it sounds like you have so many different locations. How does one facilitate that?
So some do have private organizations and paid, directors that run the Miracle League, and then they organize all the local volunteers and players and games. A lot of times it's a volunteer organization, so you may just have a group of mom and pop that, do that and bring together a board of directors and run it as a charity with no paid staff. And then, probably our most typical model is through Parks and Rec or a YMCA where they already have a paid staff,
right?
That is oversees the Miracle League program. So a lot of times Miracle League just comes in as another sport under that director, which works out really great. And then they will raise special funds or write for special grants, to do special things for the Miracle League. And the biggest cost is building the facility. These communities are raising $500,000 to $1 million to build a fully inclusive park where these kids can all play together. So once they raise the money to build that, the program is pretty easy to sustain, which would be typical to any youth baseball program.
Is there one story that really stands out to you from the alumni program, if you will, over the years, and just capturing those moments of seeing these children just come alive, being on the field? I'm sure you have tens of thousands of stories, but what is one that really stands out to you that you like to share with people?
I would say, baseball is our vehicle into changing the lives of these families. So one story I would tell you is a little girl. Well, she's a grown woman now, but going back 20 years, I started playing the Miracle League. Lauren was blind, deaf, and had brittle bone disease. So she was in a wheelchair. She had hundreds of broken bones by the time she had started Miracle League. But she was such a big lover of baseball and the Braves. And Lauren started playing baseball, and it was a tough road because, every step or every, inch she took, we were just on eggshells of, was she going to be able to do this? Was she going to have another broken bone? How to help her with being, visually impaired and the different things. So I was able to witness Lauren play in the Miracle League for many years, and through many more broken bones and many more obstacles, Lauren graduated high school and was able to attend college. And the coolest part about the story is after college, she graduated and she went back to help at her local high school teach visually impaired. And through that process over the years, somebody interviewed Lauren, and they asked Lauren, what made you think that this child with all of these disabilities and being blind and being deaf and all these different obstacles, what made you think that you could graduate high school, go to college, and come back and teach school and, the school where you grew up? And the words that she said still bring tears to my eyes. She said, it was the Miracle League. The Miracle League gave me that hope. I knew if I could play baseball, I could do anything in this life. And that's where it brought her today. Oh,
wow. What a powerful story. That is what everybody needs to hear.
So baseball is our vehicle to get these families the life that they deserve, and to give them the hope that they can do anything in this world if we give them the right resources.
Do you have any stats on the disability, the aspects of the disabilities of our children in this nation today? Do you have any idea as to what that looks like, and just with the Miracle League and how you have used that vehicle to help them overcome their disabilities, if you will?
Sure. I don't have the exact numbers today, but typically when we go into community, what we do is we look at the census for, first we look at children in the school system,
Sure.
because that gives us a really good number, and that goes, I think, ages 3 up to 21. And what we're seeing now, and and this is kind of just the newest numbers that we've seen, and obviously the autism spectrum is one of our largest populations.
Right.
And I think they're saying like 1 in 7 or 1 in 8 children is now on the autism spectrum. And the highest need we're seeing right now is sensory issues. And we're now seeing 1 in 4 children, school-age children, having a sensory issue that would give them, a challenge of some sort to be able to play on a traditional team or even in a traditional classroom. So the numbers are high. We don't say they're raising every year, but I think we're more aware of them and they're getting diagnosed earlier. But which is great, because then we're able to help them. The earlier they can get in and start getting therapy and start being a part of these social aspects, the better their outcome is, later down the road. So, but yeah, there is millions of kids across the country that would qualify. And when we add the adult population in there, it's just crazy to see, who could qualify for these services.
Do you find, now that we are more aware as a nation of these disabilities, I think to the Special Olympics that Eunice Kennedy Shriver did in honor of her sister, and it still, is going strong today. Do you think even more so now that we have the social media, we have more of this technology, more of this availability to really communicate? Do you think it's been more exposed, that there is more disabilities out there, and also on the flip side, where we can be better and more involved and playing a more active role in our community?
Yes, I think you're exactly right about, it being exposed more. The great part is, the ADA was kind of built many, many years ago, and it focuses on the physical, capability of access, whether you're in a wheelchair or a walker.
Right.
If you look at those numbers of disabilities, those that use a wheelchair or walker is only 1 or 2% of the population with disabilities. So what we've been able to do now is take it beyond ADA. And like you said, what we want to focus on is inclusion, and being able to include all kids and adults to be able to play together.
Right.
So yeah, what we've done with our complexes is been able to provide that opportunity of, by the time they leave their car, to where they come and play on an inclusive playground with their siblings and with their friends from school. They can come out and do that every day of the week, which has been an incredible part of our program, is building those inclusive playgrounds alongside our fields. And then everything from the concession stands to the bathrooms to, adult-sized changing tables. We've had incredible stories from families that don't leave the house because they don't know if they can't commit to having that adult-sized changing table. They're too nervous to be able to leave, to be able to go to activities and events. So just different things that we've learned over the years of what these families need have helped them so much come out and be able to be a part of society, and everybody play together.
Does Samaritan Ministry, do they also help with the Miracle League? Have they been a support to the Miracle League because of you being a member and then you being a leader within the Miracle League?
So Samaritan Ministries has been phenomenal with helping promote the Miracle League. And, to me, the biggest help is receiving the support from them, from my family, which is allowing me to be able to do my job that, I work for charity.
Right.
So, we are so thankful for them helping push and market and share the story of the Miracle League, because we do share similar, missions and mottos, and reaching people in love of support and sharing, Christ's love for us. And, similar with them is bearing each other's burdens. These families have a lot of burdens, and for us to be able to provide any help for them is just a like-minded mission with Samaritan Ministries. So, with us being able to be covered healthcare with Samaritan Ministries allows me and my family to be able to focus on the Miracle League and provide these opportunities for these families all across the country.
Well, let me end by saying this. I'm so thankful for your service, your servant's heart to what you are doing for all of these amazing children and adults who have the opportunity to play our favorite America's pastime, the great game of baseball. What can we do? What can my audience do for you this morning, or those who will be watching this later in the evening? What can they do for you today? Is it following on social? Is it donating to a certain chapter? Is it getting ready for the All-Star game in 2023? What are ways that we can actively be involved to support you and your organization?
I think the best thing is to visit our website, miracleleague.com, and you'll see my contact on there.
Okay.
Stephanie Davis. You can contact me directly, stephanie@miracleleague.com. What we would do is speak with you personally and see where your need or your want is. A lot of people do want to support their local Miracle League. So if you give us a call, we'll tell you what the local Miracle Leagues are. Which one would be convenient for you, and we'll get you in contact directly with that league so that if you want to support them financially or volunteer, or maybe you have a player you want to get involved and sign up to play, we would do that for you. If you want to, get involved on a national level, we'll be able to find a great place for you, just like being involved in the All-Star event or becoming a partner of the Miracle League. So whatever your want or need is, we would talk specifically to you and kind of see where we could fit you in. There's always a spot for you, whether it be in the local league, being a buddy, or helping us on our larger level with the 325 Miracle Leagues across the country. And we are averaging 2 to 3 new cities a month.
Oh, wow. So, that's fabulous.
Yeah, we need all the help that we can get,
that's
helping these new communities as well.
No, that's fabulous. I do have one final question. I was just sitting here thinking about all of my favorite baseball players, from Nolan Ryan to Cal Ripken to Derek Jeter to Yogi Berra, all the greats, Lou Gehrig. Have you had any specific baseball players and their organizations come and join you in the Miracle League, or come and support one of the All-Stars? Have you seen that come out of the baseball league?
We have had tremendous support from the individual players, too many to even recognize. But one I will share is Sean Casey. Sean goes way back, playing for the Cincinnati Reds and the Pirates. Sean came and threw a first pitch at the game in Cincinnati in our first opening there. And he came to me after the game and he said, "I'm calling you Monday. We're building this in Pittsburgh where I live."
Wow.
And Sean went home and he already had a charity through his, a foundation through his name.
Right.
Put together a Miracle League, and now still to this day, many years later, supports many Miracle Leagues. Is out there on the field every Saturday pitching, and but there's been many. Chipper Jones has helped us tremendously. David Price built a field in his own hometown on the same field he grew up on. There's just many over the years that we've worked with, and the great Harmon Killebrew was a real spokesperson for the Miracle League. And with his passing, he did many things before that, and we appreciate everything that he helped us with in the Minnesota and Idaho area where he grew up.
No, this is absolutely fabulous. And while I still have you on the phone, I'm just going to quickly go through the social media links. So SamaritanMinistries.org. Also, you can find them on Facebook and Twitter. And then also with the Miracle League, I noticed that there are a ton of Twitter accounts for the Miracle League in addition to on Facebook. Is there any other locations that we can find you? I do have at the bottom of the screen for people watching the Miracle League website where they can go and find your information. Is there any other social places that we can find you?
Nope. They can find us first at the national office, miracleleague.com. But then again, each league has their own website and their own social media outlets, so we can connect them and get them involved where they need to be.
Okay, that sounds great. So on the phone and joining us this morning is Stephanie Davis. She's a member of Samaritan Ministries International, and she's also the Vice President of National Programs with the Miracle League. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank thank you for your servant's heart, what you are doing for all of these amazing individuals, these kids and these adults, so they can get to play baseball. I absolutely love it. And thank you to Samaritan's Ministry for really supporting Stephanie and her family, and also supporting those for the sake of Christ. I absolutely love it. And yes, I said Christ on this show. So go ahead, YouTube, censor me again. I just absolutely love what you guys are doing for the Lord. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate your help.
Oh, have a blessed day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
And for all of those who are tuning in here at Common Sense America, that was a very powerful segment. So if you got to see it now or you get to see it later, make sure you hop over to themiracleleague.com. That is themiracleleague.com. And also, I'm going to put up here, if you are interested and you are looking for some type of health share where you are in the middle or you have fallen through the cracks, check out Samaritan Ministries, samaritanministries.org. That is going across the screen right now. I'm going to share with you a little clip I found on YouTube this morning about the Miracle League playing baseball, and it was from a local news station. So I'm going to play that for you really quickly, and then I will leave you on this beautiful Monday. I hope you guys have a great day.
Clapping. And on the baseball field that sits in the middle of it, smiles everywhere. It's sacred ground for many. It's home to the Ames Miracle League, a Saturday tradition unlike any other.
Saturday mornings are just awesome. I didn't used to like to get up in the morning, but Miracle League has changed that outlook for me for Saturdays.
A place that is dear to all of those who step on it.
I think it's probably the happiest place in Ames. You know, Jack Trice may have some competition.
Miracle League ranks among my top two places to be. It's kind of tied with number one, Special Olympics and Miracle League.
And a place where all athletes are welcome to play.
Year after year, these players come out to just play sports, play a game, and do what they can and do what they love.
It's no different than any other baseball game. There's a loud crowd, players giving it their all, and even a seventh inning stretch.
Great game, and let's get some runs.
But the Miracle League summer season came to an end on Saturday. But for two players, they have one more exciting slate of games on the horizon. Erica Briest and Blake Russell will travel to Florida to play in the Miracle League All-Star Game, the first ever from Ames, selected since the league's creation in 2020.
It's the most awesome experience. This is the first year he's been asked, so he's so excited to go play on a with the United States, kind of a world championship team.
It is super exciting.
From November 3rd to November 5th, Erica, Blake, and their families will head to the Sunshine State, a chance to play the game they love on the biggest stage possible, a chance only provided to them through the Miracle League.
When I was growing up, I was always sat on the sideline and told, you can just watch. You can be our cheerleader. And now I get to play.
There you have it. Great story. Love going out there.
And for all of those who are tuning in here at Common Sense America, I look forward to being back here with you. We have many more surprises coming your way. Like I said, I will be off the air the next couple of days, but we will be surprising you with some great opportunities, great things to think about. Don't forget about the top 10 reading list I provided for you guys this summer. We have such great authors here at Common Sense America and many more where they came from. So until then, have a wonderful Monday. Enjoy this beautiful summer day, and we will be back with you very soon. Have a great day.
It's time for Common Sense America.